So how do you envision the future of voice tech then? Do you think the technology will ultimately break free of these siloed ecosystems that we currently see around the world? And by siloed ecosystem, I'm talking about, Amazon with Alexa, Google with Google Assistant, and then of course, in the context of what's available in China, the Baiju Assistant and the Alibaba Assistant. Do you see us eventually breaking free of these siloed ecosystems, or do you think we're still in the long haul for seeing things siloed in the way that they are now?
Of course, I think I see, in my personal opinion, two sort of long-term directions that voice could go. It's definitely in the case of the Chinese market. One is as you mentioned, with the voice assistant. I think we will begin to see more sort of independent voice assistant being created
Hmm.
by companies and brands. That has their own personality, that has their own sort of verticals that they're good at. But of course, I think a lot of this will still rest upon ecosystems and technologies that's being
Right.
created by these large tech companies. But in the case of it would no longer be a hey Alexa, it would be hey something else.
Right.
But the underlying technology will still be provided by one of the larger tech companies. I think brands will start to recognize the importance voice assistants will have on their brands, and the importance of having a voice identity. I think
Yep.
brands, once that becomes the case, brands will start to develop their own sort of voice personality, their own voice assistant. They might, if they have the means to do that, they might be able to invest in their own technology from the grounds up. But I think that's unlikely. Certainly for the majority of brands and companies, I think most of them will still rest upon existing infrastructures that's already been created. But I would see, I do think we will see more independent voice assistants and personality being developed. Another thing that I think we will see is something that I also mentioned earlier, is that transition from private space to public space.
Hmm.
Uh, Whereas
Yes.
voice assistant was really a personal interaction you have at home, in your car, sort of in an enclosed space, right? It's still quite a weird sort of thing you would do, if you start to sort of out of nowhere, out in the public space, start to talk to air, right? Whether you're talking to
Yeah.
your wearable or talking to a robot, right? There's still that taboo of talking to an object. But
Right.
once, as that technology gets better and gets more human-like, I think we will see a transition of voice interactions happening beyond just within the private space, but moving into the public. So whether that's shopping centers asking for directories, but I think that will become more and more permeable of voice interactions in the public space.